welcome back to my channel. So I just came back from work, right? Today's Friday. My week was so terrible. I want to rant. Starting on Monday. Monday started my week terrible from work. Work was so stressful on Monday, like very stressful. And then I get home thinking I'm going to get home and I rest, and then get ready for the next day. Home was worse because when I got home, everything was good. Usually I get home around 5:45, 5:50, and then I get home because I needed to pick Mali up. So I got home that late, and then I got home and we had to find something to eat. Right, that's usually our routine. We get home and then we find something to eat, and then we did not. I did not even finish making dinner. Mina kept saying her stomach bothers her, and usually when she tells me that, I will give her Pepto Bismol. It's not every time that your child says something that you medicate that problem, right? She told me she has stomach problems. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make food, you will eat, it's going to go away. Or sometimes I will say, just drink a bottle of water, it's going to go away, right? So I'm thinking it's just her, complaining about little stomach ache and so on, right? So I made dinner and then she refused to eat. So when she refused to eat dinner, because after dinner I always give them shower. So when she refused to eat dinner, I'm like, wow, this is very unusual, right? Mina is somebody that when she comes back from school, she will eat her snack. She's going to have her dinner before shower. But that day was different. She didn't have any of those things. She didn't have her snack, and then she didn't want to eat dinner. And then she kept saying her stomach hurt, her stomach hurt, her stomach hurt. And then I gave her Pepto Bismol. And when she complains of stomach ache or stomach upset, I give Pepto Bismol, it usually would subside. But I gave her Pepto Bismol, 1 cup, it didn't subside, right? I said, okay, let me give you shower. After shower, I'm going to give you another one. After shower, I gave her another Pepto Bismol. It didn't go away. She still said her stomach hurt. And then she was feeling nauseated. So I said, okay, I'm going to give you another Pepto Bismol because with Pepto Bismol, you can take it every 15 minutes. I told her I'll give you another Pepto Bismol. Um, and Tylenol, which is what I did, right? I gave her another Pepto Bismol and I also gave her Tylenol, and it didn't help. So it was time for us to go to bed. It was about almost 8 o'clock, and then she started throwing up. I'm like, wow. So I'm thinking maybe it's because she came back, she didn't eat dinner, and then I gave her medicine. Now her stomach is upset, and then she's throwing out all the medication. But no, it wasn't that. She actually threw up food that she ate from school. And then here I am thinking that, okay, which means her stomach is probably related to something she had in school. So, and she threw up one time, and then I told her to go lay in bed. So she went to bed, and then she fell asleep like instantly. And then I'm laying in bed, I'm on my phone, and then I hear, how when somebody's gargling. So I heard her gargling, but she was sleeping. And I turned the light on, and she was actually throwing up. She's throwing up, but she's in so much deep sleep that she didn't realize that she was throwing up. So I woke her up and I said, Mina, you are throwing up. Let's go to the bathroom. So it took me a while to actually get her up to go to the bath. So she went there, she threw up a lot again and again. Part of it were food that she had in school, and then part of it was the medication that I gave her. So now I'm like, okay, there's something wrong because now she's throwing up the second time within 2 hours. And then she threw up, came back to bed, like about 5 to 10 minutes again, she started throwing up. I'm like, wow, this is, serious than I thought. And at that point, I said I wasn't going to give her Pepto Bismol anymore. I just wanted her body to actually get rid of what it was causing all that irritation. Because that's a problem with throw up, right? When I have patients that throw up and then they ask for medication like anti MS's medication, I always tell them no. I said, listen, your body is trying to get rid of something that is not right. So let the body get rid of it completely. You drink enough fluid and then we can medicate, right? And that's the same thing I did with Mina. I'm like, okay, since you're throwing up, I'm going to let you throw up everything that your body is rejecting. And then from there now, I'm going to medicate you again. She threw up about, I'll say about 5 times in total, and then it lasted for about the whole night. We didn't sleep. All this episode lasted until about 4 a.m. the next day, which was Tuesday. And I'm like, oh my gosh, here I am alone with these children. I'm alone. I have to go to work. They have to go to school. What am I going to do? So I'm like, oh my gosh, what will I do, right? So I'm like, okay, 4 a.m. And mind you, 4 a.m., by that 4 a.m., I wasn't sleeping. Mina wasn't sleeping because each time she wanted to sleep, she was throwing up. So my eyes were so dry, my head was spinning. I'm thinking of what I'm going to do and so on. So it was crazy. And then here comes Tuesday morning. I usually get up at 7 a.m. and I didn't even sleep. 4 a.m. she was done, she went to sleep. I'm like, I look at this child, I'm like, it's almost 7 a.m. How do I feel waking this child up who did not sleep whole night? She told me she was weak. She didn't sleep. Of course, when you throw up, you are losing fluid, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Luckily enough, my job is flexible, right? We do have some remote days that we can use in situations like this. So I called my office and I told them I wasn't coming for that day. I'm going to use my remote day to work, right? That worked just great. And then I had to drop Mali at the daycare. So Mina had to stay home for that whole day. And then I was also home. I did remote working, right? So good enough, when she stayed home, she never threw up. So her last vomiting was the one at 4 a.m. And since then, she did not, right? She did not vomit the whole day. And, she stayed home, we hydrated, and so on. So Tuesday, we were home. Here comes Wednesday. Of course, she's doing fine. She's just a little weak. We are still, rehydrating and so on. She rested enough for sure, right? And then we got ready for school and work. We dropped Marley and then I had to drop her off. I dropped this child at school and she went to the class. And then the teacher said, how are you feeling? Which is but a normal question for the teacher to ask. She said, how are you feeling? She said, I'm still not feeling well. That's what she said, right? So I don't know what transpired there. And then the school nurse called me. I reached work, I was still in my car. I had packed my car and I'm just taking my the various things that I always take to me in the office. And here comes this local number, 240 number. This is a local number. Who is calling me with a local number this early? I faithfully picked up that number, and then it was her school, and her school said, I need to come take her. And I said, why? They told me, she said she's not feeling well, and then that she need to stay home for 24 hours if she was having vomiting. I'm like, okay, Bert. I said this morning she was feeling well. She hasn't thrown up. She was home the whole day yesterday. She didn't have any vomiting episode, whatever, right? I'm like, okay. I mean, right now I'm just saying like within me. So I again told my work, my child school called, I can come to work. Can I work remote? They said yes, right? So I made a U-turn, went to school, went to the health, build to the health room or whatever. And the nurse is sitting there. She's like, you need to take her home like right now. And I said, what happened? What is the problem? She said, oh, she's vomiting. She vomited. She has to stay home for 24 hours before she can come back. And I'm like, it's been more than 24 hours. She threw up Monday night. leading to Tuesday morning. And the whole of yesterday, I kept her home. So, what are you talking about? And then she tells me that, oh, she told me that the last time she threw up was 2 o'clock. And I'm like, 2 a.m. or 2 p.m.? I said, you are calling me to come take my child home because she told you that she threw up at 2 o'clock. You don't know if it was 2 a.m., you don't know if it was 2 p.m. She's a 7 years old. She's not aware of time. She can say 2 o'clock. She doesn't know if it's 2 a.m. She doesn't know if it's 2 p.m. That is something you should have asked me that, mom, when is the last time she threw up, right? And then I'll tell you. But you asked her and then you are taking your phone and calling me to come take her because she told you that she's not feeling well. And again, that she threw up at 2 o'clock. It could be 2 a.m., it could be 2 a.m., right? So there I'm kind of like, okay. And then what pissed me off is like she kept saying you have to take her like right away out of the school. I'm like, I will not, right? There I was getting very irritated. If you go to a doctor would not diagnose you just for one symptom. It has to be one symptom alongside with other symptoms before a diagnosis is made. So you're not going to send my child home because she threw up more than 24 hours ago, which you did not verify, and then you are telling me to come take her home, right? So when I started talking and I told her, she's like, oh, I'm the nurse. I know what, I'm like, okay. So she was trying to make like she knew what she was talking about. I didn't know anything about. That is when I'm like, girl, listen. I said, I'm also a nurse. And she's an LPN. I told her, I said, listen, I am an RN, all right? I've worked as a nurse for so long to know so much. So you telling me that because she has one symptom, you're going to you're basically diagnosing her and then sending her home, right? So when she realized that I knew what I was talking about, when she realized that I've also worked in healthcare, that is when she started feeling, you could feel like the panic in her. And then another older nurse was in one room behind the health room or somewhere. So she overheard our conversation. She came out and then she was trying to assist because I told them that I would not take my child home because one, I see no reason. Secondly, before my child came to school, I knew my child was well. If somebody throw up, obviously they are going to be weak. Obviously, they are not going to feel themselves. And obviously, you do not expect them to feel 100% themselves the same day or the next day. You have to give them time. It takes days. Some people, it even take a week. All right. So my child is going to stay in school. She's going to go to class. She's going to learn. So you are not going to tell me to take my child home. So guys, it was so crazy. It was like really, really crazy. And I told them to give me a paper that I need to see where it says that if my child is, vomiting, they cannot come to school for 24 hours. You know, I mean, I understand, right? As a parent, you already make that judgment if it is right for your child to go to school the next day or not. Nobody's supposed to tell you that. You would know. So, yeah, I was so pissed, guys. I was so angry with them. And I told them next time you're calling my phone telling me that my child is sick, make sure that you are 100% sure that my child is sick. She's not having stomach ache. She is not having fever. All right. So, what other symptom do you base that on that she should go home? Like, tell me. And a couple of symptoms. I need at least 2 to 3 symptoms. If you are telling me because she says she's not feeling well and she threw up, I would not take her home because I know she's well. Before I got her out of the house, I know she was well. Yeah, guys. So it was a very nasty situation. I was so upset. And then I told them again that don't call me for situations like that. Call me for something serious. Yeah. So it was so bad. And then, you know, at the end of the day, I still took her home, right? I still took her because I mean, I defended myself so much so that I had a choice to leave her there, right? But in that kind of environment, in the situation that transpired, I didn't want my child to be treated differently. I decided to take her home. This child was well the whole day. She was playing, you know. I'm like, what the heck? But yeah, guys, that's what happened, and I just wanted to rant. I just wanted to talk. So I just came back from work, and today's Friday again. My week was so rough, guys. Like, it was really rough. I cannot start saying everything that went on, but it was really rough. But yeah, today's Friday. I'm just going to go, take shower. I want to take a very good shower and a very long shower for that matter. Take a long shower. I just had my dinner, take long shower, and then just crash on the couch for a little bit while the children just play around. And then we look forward for tomorrow. All right, guys.